Thank you very much, the dignitaries, for taking the trouble. And this particular souvenir is already available in your bags. I hope you find it useful. Now I have a very onerous duty. May I now request that we give a humble mementos to the dignitaries on the dais. So may I request Mr. Parthi to please hand over the memento to the chief guest of the evening. Thank you very much. May I request Mr. Kumar? Yes. Kumar to Mr. Stefanos, the guest of honor of this event. Now, I hand over the memento to Mr. Parthi. Thank you, sir. Now I request Mr. Jha to give the honors to hand over to Mr. Tiwari. Mr. Jha, please. And I will request Mr. Grover. Thank you very much, sir. Mr. Grover to Mr. Kumar, please. Thank you, sir. Now we come to the last portion of the inaugural function. I'll request Mr. U. Kumar, Executive President of Indian Coal Forum, to give his vote of thanks. Before that, let me introduce Mr. Kumar very quickly. After graduating from the prestigious Indian School of Mines, Dhanbad, in mining engineering in the year 1958, he joined National Coal Development Corporation and rose to the rank of Deputy Chief Mining Engineer when NCDC was merged into Coal India Limited. Converted into Coal India Limited, moving forward and working as General Manager, as Chief General Manager, he was appointed Director Technical in CPDI and then CCL, from where he moved as CMD to NCL, Singrauli, and then to Southeastern Coal Limited, Bilaspur. After his superannuation in 1977, worked with two private sector mining companies and joined SL Mining and Industries Limited of Aditya Birla Group as advisor of coal in 2006 and still continuing there since then. He has served as Vice Chairman, Standing Committee of the Ministry of Coal under MMD and R Act for 6 years and Director, World Coal Institute, Member, Central Pollution Control Board, Government of India, National President, Mining, Geological and Metallurgical Institute of India, President, All India Public Sector Sports Control Board, and on Board of Governors, Indian Institute of Coal Management. He has received several awards like Indra Priyadarshini Vriksh Mitra Award, Government of India, D.D. Thakkar, Gold Medal from MGMI, Distinguished Alumnus Award from Indian School of Mines, and Engineer of the Year Award from the Institute of Engineers, and authored large number of papers on various aspects of coal mining. So Mr. Kumar for his vote of thanks.
Thank you, Mr. Gautam. Chief guest of the function, Mr. Arun Arora. Guest of honor, Mr. Stefanos. Our Chairman of Organizing Committee, Shri Satyendra Tiwari. Our Chairman, Indian Coal Forum, Shri Parthi. Secretary General, Shri Gautam. And some very distinguished guests, Mr. Parthu Bhattacharya, Mr. Shashi Kumar, Mr. Akla, Mr. Sabishachi Hazara, and a host of very senior mining engineers and those who are involved in logistics. We are about 25 years old organization, but we have generally been functioning from Delhi. When the subject of coal logistics was thought about, we thought that Calcutta being the center of logistics which will hold it here. And naturally, we talk about the chief guest. And in consideration of the fact that coal and railways have a very symbiotic relation, we focus on railways. And Mr. Arun Arora was very kind. He immediately agreed to our request, and so we have him here today. I'm looking for someone who can be sort of the link between the private sector and coal industry. And we thought of Mr. Stefanos, who is the chairman of Bengal Chamber of Commerce, and of course the coal consumer, Tata Steel Downstream Products Limited. So Mr. Stefanos, you are here, and we are very thankful to you for having done us this honor. Satyendra Tiwari, of course, he's a boy of the industry. I claim him to be my son. His father was my classmate, and we started our journey together right from college to NCDC and then to Coal India. Today he's no more, but I'm sure he must be smiling from above on the achievements of Satyendra, and I personally feel very, very proud to welcome him and to thank him for all that he has done. Sir, about the issues that have been raised, I'll just touch upon a very important thing that our chief guest said about the production systems. So, bulk of our production, almost 95%, comes from open cast mines. And it's not only in India, everywhere open cast mining is done, everywhere production gets affected during the rains. The solution, one solution is that we go underground. Underground problem is there, that technical problem is there. Our seams are very thick. No method is available for working those thick seams. And if we go for underground mining, for those seams, everywhere a jhadia will be created, which will be burning, raising fires. So the solution is that the power stations or the consumers have to stock coal before the monsoon, so that the dislocation which is inevitable, that does not affect them. Like I said, this year it has happened. I think Satyendra would be able to say better. Some of the power stations were simply refusing to take coal. They said they had no stocking space, and that's what it happened. Another factor, of course, was the imported coal. They stopped purchasing imported coal, which became very expensive. And Coal India was called upon to meet the shortfall of about 50 million tons, which Coal India was not ready. But yet, they made up to the extent of about 10 to 15 million tons. So I think Satyendra would say it on behalf of the industry, because I have served there for 40 years. I know that Coal India is very akin to, very awake to the responsibilities, and they are doing their best. And it's very fortunate that Coal India and railways are moving hand in hand to ensure that the consumer gets the coal at his doorstep and at the least cost. I thank you, Mr. Arora, for giving a very comprehensive and very thoughtful speech about what railways are doing, what is being done by the industry, and what has to be done by the industry. I remember I joined NCDC in 1958, and there was a coal field to be opened, Kodiyareva coal field, nearby Kanpur. Railway laid down a track of 112 kilometers just for production level of 2 million tons. That was Bishrampur and Charcha put together. They are supposed to raise 2 million tons, and railways went to that extent that they laid down a track for 112 kilometers for moving that coal. I think they have started moving in the same direction. All these railway lines that have been planned and that are under execution, I'm sure this will go a long way in removing the bottlenecks in coal logistics. We have a very learned gathering of experts. Papers are to be presented by very learned people. See, one thing we were worried about, that was the shipping. We covered railways, we covered coal, road, but a very important segment of coal logistics is shipping. The 250 million tons that comes by ships. from ECL or from MCL, coal goes to the South India on ships. And we were looking for someone, and thanks to Partho, Mr. Partho Bhattacharya, that we could contact Mr. Sabyasachi Hazara, and he is with us, and we are very thankful to him for sparing his time to be with us. I thank you, Mr. Arora. Thank you, Mr. Stefanos, for giving a clear picture to us what is to be done. And Satyendra, of course, he is the heart and soul of this coal logistics. Mr. Parthi is our own. We work under his guidance and very sage advice and very mature handling. I thank you, Mr. Sashi Kumar, Mr. Partho Bhattacharya, Mr. Akla, Mr. V.K. Arora, Mr. T.K. Nag, and Mr. I'm so forgetting someone. Mr. Eman Jha, of course, Mr. Saha, and Mr. Tulia, and the entire gathering of very distinguished delegates, very great thinkers, and those who can make a difference to the entire approach of going to the logistics, to the problem of logistics. I'm sure the deliberations over the day would lay out a clear path for the future course to be taken for resolving the problems which are standing in the way of reaching coal to the consumers on time and at least cost. Thank you very much once again, and we do hope, sir, that your blessings would be available even in future, because we have decided to have a center at Calcutta, and we'll have to intensify our activities at Calcutta. Thank you very much once again. Thank you.
And I now finally thank Mr. Kumar for thanking every one of us here. Now we are running slightly late, 15 minutes. However, the next session was to start at 11:30. We would try to start it by 11:45.